Hey, sorry about that. It looks like I'm going to be making this video in several different pieces. So we left off here. We were talking about how to build bridges. So with this conversion factor stuff, I like to think about it as if I was building a bridge. Now, if you were building a bridge, let's say from a cliff edge across some sort of expanse to another cliff, you need to first start on one side, right? You can't just start out in the middle of your bridge because there's nothing there, right? So we're going to start over on one side with the materials that are given to us. Okay, so similarly in this dimensional analysis bridge method, we are going to start with the values that are given to us in the question. So in this particular case, we're converting 25 kilometers into meters. That is going to be our given number in unit, our given value. And then on the other side, I would write out over here on the other side the destination. Okay, so when you're building a bridge, you're not just going to build off into some random distance. You're going to build toward an endpoint, toward a goal, toward a destination. Okay, so always write out what your goal is. So over here, I would write out meters. All right, so I would have 25 kilometers on the left, and I would have my end goal on the right, which is meters. And then the planks of the bridge are going to be our conversion factors. Okay, so these conversion factors, like we've been talking about, the 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer or 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters, these are going to be the planks of our bridge. Okay, so if we were converting 25 kilometers into meters, I would write this out over here, 25 kilometers, and then I would have meters over here on the right side. Then use the conversion factor. Do we have a conversion factor that goes directly from kilometers into meters? Yes, we do. We have our 1,000 meters for every 1 kilometer. So this is the point here that we need to decide which iteration of this conversion factor are we going to use? Are we going to use 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer? Or are we going to flip this around? Because we can do that. Are we going to flip this around and say 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters? Well, the way that we're going to decide this is by looking at the units. Okay, so we're starting off here with kilometers, right? We're trying to get to meters. We don't want to be left with kilometers at the end. So if we use this, let's say we use the 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer. All right. So you can think of this whole bridge method as kind of like one big fraction. You can almost see this imaginary line that travels through the center of all of this work here. So if this is one big fraction, you guys should know, you've done this in math before. If you have some sort of thing in the numerator and you have that exact thing in the denominator, well, those things cancel out. Okay, we did this earlier in the slideshow. If you have 10 over 10, those 10s will cancel out. It is the exact same thing with units. So if we have kilometers in the top of this large fraction and we have kilometers in the bottom of this fraction, these kilometers cancel out. Now, this is a good thing for us. Why do we want to get rid of the kilometers? Because look at the units that are left over. Meters. Is this what we want to have left over? Absolutely. This is why we write out our end goal, our destination over here, because we need to know where we're going. So, okay, meters is exactly what we're looking for. Good. Now that we've canceled out our old units, then we can just multiply straight across on top, multiply straight across on the bottom. And what does that get us? We have 25 times 1,000 meters equals 25,000 meters divided by just 1. So 25,000 meters over 1, and anything over 1 is equivalent to the numerator. So we have 25,000 meters as our answer, or 2.5 times 10 to the fourth meters. Some more humor here. This is what happens when you don't take units into account. Everything just goes crazy. Units are very important. So let's go ahead and try an example here. You can pause the video and try it yourself, and then I am going to take you step by step through the process of how to solve this. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so we are converting 18.2 kilometers into meters. So what do we do first? Remember, think about the bridge process. So first, we write up, what do we know first? What is the beginning part of our bridge that we know, that is given to us in the question? Well, we know the value 18.2 kilometers. And we are building towards a specific destination, right? We're looking ahead towards the other cliff, and that end destination is to get to meters. Okay. Step 1 complete. So do we now have we need to use the planks, right? We got to build this bridge. So do we have a conversion factor that gets us directly from kilometers to meters? The answer should be, hopefully, yes. And that conversion factor is 1,000 meters for every 1 kilometer. Okay, so now we're going to put this into our large fraction here, into our bridge, but which one are we going to use? The 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer or 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters? Well, we should know that in order to cancel out our kilometers in the top and bottom, we need to have kilometers in the top and the bottom. Okay, so we should use this arrangement, the 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer. Okay, what that does is cancel out our units in the top and the bottom. Once we have the proper units here, meters, we can multiply straight across. 18.2 times 1,000 gets us 18,200 meters, and then 1 on the bottom is just 1. 18,200 meters over 1 reduces to 18,200 meters. So what is 18.2 kilometers in meters? Well, 18,200. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's move on to a slightly more involved problem. So Olympus Mons is the tallest known peak in the solar system. Its peak is 25 kilometers above Mars's surface. Convert this measurement into centimeters. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now, and we'll take you through the answer here once you've tried it first. Okay, so we are converting here. This is a word problem. You need to know, firstly, what are we doing in this problem? What is the goal for this problem? Well, we are converting 25 kilometers into centimeters. Okay, so firstly, we're building the bridge. What do we have to start out here? What is given to us in the question? Well, the value 25 kilometers is what's given to us. Now, where are we building towards? What is the end goal? What is the destination? That is centimeters. So we write both of those things up here. Okay, so do we have a conversion factor that gets us directly from kilometers to centimeters? Well, no, we don't have one. There is one that exists, but I would rather you not go through and memorize all of these different conversion factors. Let's stick with some of the more common ones, namely kilometers and meters to start. This is okay. This is just going to be a multi-step problem. We're going to have multiple planks in our bridge. Okay, so we're going to use 1,000 meters for every 1 kilometer, and we're going to put that into the fraction just like we did in the previous question. Okay, now we're going to cancel out the kilometers there in the top and the bottom, and that leaves us with centimeters.